Elena. Welcome to Mind Bloom.
Hi, thank you so much for having
Hi.
me. This is so exciting.
It is my big pleasure to have you on today. I'm sure our audience is just going to be mind bloomed by...
I like what you did there.
I always have to squeeze it in. I mean, people probably hate me for this, but
I love it.
It's my podcast. I can do whatever I want.
That's great, baby.
And so it is definitely a pleasure to have you. And I would like to start, since we're talking about puns and mind bloom and minds blooming, I would like to know what makes your mind bloom.
Oh, great question. So I really feel like having new experiences is what I need to bloom, to be open, and especially to receive like creative inspiration. I have to go to new places and meet new people and eat new food and really get out and away, and it like triggers novelty in my brain, and that helps me to bloom.
Stimulation, right? It's you got to be stimulated. How then, I have to ask, how have you been coping with isolation and lockdown?
Yes, thank you. It's been really hard. And the very first thing that has been helpful is me recognizing that I'm missing novelty. Like, it was something that I used to do even when my kids were young. And if I only got like 2 hours to myself, I would go to a new part of town that I've never been at and just walk around and go eat lunch by myself. Right. And so now that I'm in kind of trapped situation, I have to remind myself that I need that novelty. And there's a reason why I feel like I'm going bonkers. And there's a reason why I feel like I can't come up with anything creative. And so when I do leave the house, we've been going camping, very socially distanced, like not in a campground, like no human around for miles and miles. So that's been good for me. That's been really good for me, as well as I will try to find new things on TV. I'll try to find new things on my phone, right? I actually make it a habit in my social media to not follow many other people that do what I do. I try to follow architects, musicians, and jewelry designers. Like, I try to be inspired by people who are not in my genre. So that helps as well.
Wow, that is so interesting. I'd never thought about that in terms of social media. Of course, I always lean towards the familial, I guess. But that is a great idea. I hope that doesn't keep you away from following me, since, I hope I'm different enough.
Definitely. Definitely.
For you. No, but back to your coping mechanisms and to deal with this lockdown. It's wonderful, I think, to realize what it is and allow yourself to tap into your needs and really see what it is that you need, and be gentle, like you were saying, when you are going bonkers. You notice that, you are aware of it, and what can you do? You can go, it's okay. Go bunkers for 5 minutes. And then, right.
Yeah. And it's been really good to recognize, like, once I recognize that in myself, it's easier to recognize, like, in my partner, she loves to be a homebody. Like, if she didn't leave the house for a week, she'd be fine. And so, like, we recognizing that I have a need that she doesn't, to leave the house, and that we are dealing with this differently. It gives each other space. We don't have to assume that we're reacting to the situation in the same way.
That's so interesting. So you still get your walks and your discoveries of the city, and she stays home and cooks dinner. I think so.
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
I think that's great. Optimization. I was almost going to say that, and I don't know her, so obviously I wasn't going to say, but I was thinking it. I was thinking, if you are this extrovert, let's say, and just outgoing, I'm almost positive that your partner is going to be this homebody, because the opposites attract, and they complement each other. I'm sure you probably even learn a little bit from her. What is it that you love so much about being at home, right?
Right.
And she can say the same thing about you what is it so much that you like going out?
Absolutely. Yes. I've never been one to binge on Netflix until this whole thing happened. And at first, because I'd never done it, like I felt really uncomfortable. But when I reframed it as this is like her comfort time, like just how I have my jump in the car, get on the freeway, drive 100 miles, you know, and that's so good for me. This is what's so good for her, to just have closeness and to be still, be still for a while. Yeah.
And the intimacy comes from that too.
For sure.
I think, yeah. I would side with your partner. I don't have enough lockdown. I could be here. And it's great because I love talking to people, but then we hang up the phone or Zoom and it's just me again. And I get just enough community and just enough expansion, let's say, of my thoughts, just enough.
This is like your time. Like you've been training for this your whole life. You're ready for lockdown.
I am ready. Someone else earlier was saying, we have been, she's a financial coach, who said, I have been training people for the zombie attack that this is for my whole life. I'm ready. No, I'm ready. I'm ready.